Now, the FBI has identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks as the subject involved in the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. The story behind Crooks is just as puzzling as the crime itself. Some say he was a loner who was bullied, while others describe him as well-liked by his teachers. But who exactly was Thomas Matthew Crooks, and what drove him to carry out such a drastic act? Our next report attempts to answer these probing questions.
The atmosphere was electric at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thousands of supporters had gathered, waving flags and chanting slogans. Among the sea of faces was Thomas Matthew Crooks, a man whose presence would change the course of the event. Crooks, an unassuming figure away from the crowd, was positioned outside the event grounds on the rooftop of a manufacturing facility. He was oddly 118 meters away from the stage, where former President Donald Trump was speaking. The open-air setting at the Butler Farm Showgrounds provided the suspect a clear line of sight of his target. The sun dipped below the horizon as Trump's motorcade arrived. Security was tight, with Secret Service agents scanning the crowd for any signs of trouble. And as Trump took the stage, the energy in the crowd reached a fever pitch. Crooks held the semi-automatic AR-15 rifle, fingers closing in around the grip of the trigger.
Said, take a look at what happened.
At least 8 shots rang out. Donald Trump was saved by mere inches. Panic erupted as people screamed and scattered, trying to find safety. Secret Service agents swarmed and Trump was escorted to his vehicle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
That day, Thomas Matthew Crooks altered history. His identity was quickly revealed to the public, and when investigators combed through Thomas's life, they found little to explain his motives.
Definitely something you weren't expecting, it's kind of shocking. You wake up in the morning and your whole street's lined up and you're like, what the heck's even going on? And then you turn the news on and you're like, oh, dang.
He was an ordinary 20-year-old with no criminal record, no history of violence. Graduating from Bethel Park High School in 2022, Crooks was among more than a dozen students who received National Math and Science Initiative Star Awards worth $500. His classmates described him as a loner who struggled to find his place in the world.
He would sit alone at lunch. He was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're going to see someone like that and they're going to target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Often criticized for his dressing style, Crooks, as described by his former classmates, would dress in hunting attire. They say he was an outcast who was always alone.
He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance. Like they were just saying jeans. He'd wear hunting outfits sometimes. He would always wear a mask. Even after COVID, he wore a mask.
Crooks was also a member of the Clayton Sportsman Club for a year, where he honed his shooting skills. Investigators believe the weapon used for attempted assassination was purchased by his father. How a local nursing home kitchen worker turned a shooter has left investigators stunned with many unanswered questions. The community struggled to understand how a seemingly normal young man could harbor such intentions. Crooks' voting record showed him as a registered Republican, but he also donated $15 to a liberal campaign group, Act Blue, in 2021.
I mean, where has America gone to now? Okay, I was talking to one other reporter, and I said, the country's been never so divided, okay? Everyone needs to go and take a step back, relax. If you have differences with a candidate, you do it at the voting booth, you know? You don't take action like this clown did, okay? If it happened to Biden, I'd be just as stunned, you know, because there's no need for that in our society like this.
The 20-year-old suspect was killed by a Secret Service sharpshooter. Several suspicious devices were found in Crooks' vehicle. Since he was carrying no ID, Crooks' identity was confirmed through DNA and facial recognition. Police and agencies are investigating his motive. His house, where he lived with his parents, was sealed. Bethel Park police said there was a bomb investigation surrounding his family home. How much time was spent in that planning remains the subject of an ongoing investigation. Police believe he acted alone, but they continue to investigate whether he was accompanied to the rally. Crooks is not just remembered for what he did, but for what he left behind. A trail of questions, a legacy of unanswered whys.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect?